Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of The Daily Dose. Today is Wednesday, November 9th. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe on YouTube and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. One of these episodes will come out every day that the market is open. And we do release a video on the weekends that is just a little bit more in-depth and covers some more things that we don't get to cover on the daily episodes. But let's get into it. I'm going to go a little bit faster maybe through this stuff today as far as the stock market goes, because there are big things happening in Bitcoin right now. But we're going to talk a little bit about the inflation data tomorrow as well. So stocks were down today. Everything was pretty much down 2% or more. The NASDAQ was down a little more at about 2.5%. This comes after 3 days of some modest gains, and we got election results that maybe weren't as dominant for Republicans as predicted, which I think the market was kind of hoping for Republicans to take control of Congress. That is not looking like it's going to happen as swiftly as anticipated, but they are still gaining some seats. The S&P 500 was down. We already talked about that. So investors' optimism during stock's 3-day rally was built on expectations that Republicans would gain ground and create gridlock in Washington, but the Republican red wave failed to materialize in the U.S. midterms. Democrats managed to flip a crucial Senate seat, with John Fetterman beating Mehmet Oz in the Pennsylvania race. As of late Wednesday, both House and Senate control remains in the balance. So some more election stuff that, doesn't really, it pulls weight in the short term, but not really over the long term. To that point, investors will turn their attention to Thursday morning's inflation report as the Bureau of Labor Statistics releases the Consumer Price Index for October. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg expect headline CPI at an annual rate of 7.9%, down from the 8.2% month before. Even if the report shows prices starting to moderate, the core CPI remains far above the Fed's comfort zone. We are still far above the 2% target, Rebecca Felton, Riverfront Investment Group senior market strategist, told Yahoo Finance Live on Tuesday. So we don't believe that the Fed is going to ease up at any point in the near term, and so rates will stay higher for longer, and inflationary pressures clearly are likely to stay higher for longer too. And then it goes on to talk about Meta cutting some of their staff, Disney missed on their earnings, and some other things. But let's talk about this. So cryptocurrencies were under pressure as investors digested whether crypto exchange Binance will acquire rival FTX. Still, the deal looks dicey, according to CoinDesk. And I do believe that FTX officially walked away just minutes before I started recording. So FTX is not coming in to save, Binance is not coming in to acquire FTX. They're not going to save them, and FTX is likely going under. The website also does not work anymore. You can't go to the website. So stocks tied to cryptocurrencies also took a hit. Cryptocurrency exchange competitor Coinbase fell. Robinhood fell. So a lot of things happening in the crypto market. But let's get into the charts because I'm just anxious to get to Bitcoin. But let's talk about the stock market first. So we sold off. To me, nothing super significant about the level that it sold off at. I mean, yeah, you had a little bit of structure over here, but not really. This is really the zone I was looking to. So if the inflation number is bad tomorrow, I'd continue for the selling to continue, because that would just indicate that the Fed needs to continue tightening and that they won't be pivoting or loosening or stopping raising rates anytime soon. I think a lot of people were too optimistic about the Fed kind of pivoting their policy, but the reality of the situation is that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. If the inflation data comes in worse than expected, then it's just worse on top of that. So that's what I'm looking to. I know pretty much everyone's going to obviously be looking to that, but yeah, it is an important figure coming out tomorrow as far as the stock market goes. And again, I'll just say this because I like to say it in all my episodes, but the 3250 is kind of the next level I'm looking at. If there's a next leg downward, if we breach these lows, it definitely makes sense. If you didn't see the episode of why that makes sense, let's just go over really quick. So Back in September of 2020, there was just a gigantic double bottom here at the 3250 level in this zone that we have mapped out. And then we went into a channel that actually held until this bear market started. So I think the bottom of that channel, which kind of the channel started right here, but the bottom of that market was really right here. And so I think the 3250 makes sense for us to at least go visit if this bear market continues, which I do expect it to continue. So that's what I'm looking at on stocks. Finally, literally since the creation of this YouTube channel, this podcast, we've been in a range in Bitcoin, and we finally broke through. I told you on every single episode that has literally ever existed on this channel that if Bitcoin ever broke through the 17.5, the 17.7, it was screwed. And well, not screwed, but it's going down to 12,000 to 9,000. Well, guess what? Today we have broken through the 17.7, the 17.5, and it is in complete free fall. Literally, as I make this video, it just keeps falling. We're about to go to below 16,000. I think the next level, not even I think, you know what? We're going to map it out together now that we finally broke through. The next level of support is not until 12,000 to 9,000. So let's find those levels now. So I think that wow, this is so exciting because we've literally been waiting for this for such a long time. It makes sense to get here to here would be my first zone. I would have this on your chart, and we're going to draw that out first. So let's draw it out. God, I hate this. Oh, no. Okay, so that's going to... Sorry, okay, so let's pull this over. That's the next zone that we're looking at right here. And let's make sure that it lines up well. You know what? I like that zone. So this is what I'm looking at. It could even get a little lighter. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Sorry, everybody. If you're listening to the podcast, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just mapping out this this zone that I think Bitcoin could definitely go to next. And I'll give you those levels as soon as we finish here. So right there. Let's go back over and see if it makes sense. And I think it would make sense to have this down at like the 10,100 level. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so the first zone that makes sense for Bitcoin to really kind of find some structure would be in this zone. And I know it's a big zone, but there's a lot of things that could happen. We're kind of getting into this unprecedented territory as far as this market is going. So I expect the 12,300 level to the 10,100 level to be the area that we could first see some structure on Bitcoin. And I'm going to leave that as the level for now, because if it breaks through 10,000, then we'll have another level we need to map out. But at first, the 12,000 to the 10,000 is really what I'm looking at. I know I said 9,000 and 8,000 maybe even in some earlier episodes, and it definitely still could get there, but I think this level makes sense first. There's no structure or support between that level that I just mentioned and where we're at right now. So that's why I have that mapped out. Let's just get that right there. Okay. And then let's get this over here. I'm just mapping out my chart for Bitcoin. Okay. And so that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. It's really exciting. We finally broke out of this range. It sucks it's to the downside for the holders of Bitcoin, but it could present a very, 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 very enticing buying opportunity on Bitcoin. And it could definitely be a good time to start building a base if you've been thinking about investing in Bitcoin. I mean, you're not going to get better prices over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years than what we're about to see. So yeah, I'm expecting that to go to the 12,000 200-ish level to the 10,100. And let's refresh and see if it's still falling. So yeah, it's at $16,005 right now. Wow. So Bitcoin finally broke through our range. If you've been a regular listener to the channel, you knew that this was probably coming, and you already knew the targets. I mean, I wish I had more people that followed the channel, just because I've been preaching this for months now, and it's coming to fruition. So really, really crazy stuff. I think that the whole FTX thing definitely contributed to just breaking to the downside, and also just the government seizing all that Bitcoin a couple days ago. And if they sell that on the open market, then yeah, that's going to drive prices down. But I do think that you couldn't see specific events happening, but like you knew that in this type of a market, things like that would happen and that it would drive the price down. And just from a technical standpoint, it made sense. We're in this huge bear market. I said earlier when we had this little rally right here the last couple days before the sell-off, I said, hey, it's a rally, but we're in a bear market on Bitcoin, and that hasn't changed. Even if we're rallying a little bit here, and Bitcoin has a tendency to, rally into these huge sell-offs. And so that's where we are right now. We're in the middle of another big leg down. We're in one of these like this right here, like this. Here comes another one, and I think that next level is the 12,200 to 10,000. If it breaks through there, then we'll start talking about the 9,000 level to like the 7,000 level. That would be our next zone, but I'm not going to draw that yet. I kind of like to draw the zones just like live on the episodes. I think that's kind of fun. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin now. These are times where you got to be fast, set your price targets. If it gets to a zone you like, go in, make a move. This is the time to acquire assets. There's blood in the streets in the Bitcoin market right now. Absolutely blood in the streets. People are getting liquidated out of this. People are losing tons of money. I bet there are lots of people selling out, but I think the real winners are going to be the people that have that price target on it, that execute when it hits there, and hold for a long time. So exciting things happening in the market all over the place, but Bitcoin especially. Again, stock market down today after 3 up days, and we have the inflation CPI number coming out tomorrow. So tons of stuff today. Again, if you like this content, please subscribe on YouTube and follow wherever you listen to podcasts. But until next time, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.